I'm trying to move on in peace.
Did Offset just erase Cardi B from his life with one final track? His new album, Kiari, doesn't just close with music, it closes with a statement. In a song literally called Move On, Offset seems to pour every last ounce of frustration, heartbreak, and bitterness into his lyrics. And the result? Fans are calling it the ultimate breakup anthem, while others say it feels more like a public execution of his marriage. Offset and Cardi's relationship has always played out like a headline-grabbing roller coaster. From secret weddings to public feuds, reconciliations, and now another divorce filing, every high and low has been magnified under the spotlight. But this time feels different. Instead of Instagram rants or cryptic tweets, Offset chose to leave his final words in the music, and those words are impossible to ignore. Quick question before we dive deeper. Do you think artists should air their relationship drama in songs, or should that stuff stay private? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be checking what you guys think. When artists end an album, it usually feels like a soft landing, something reflective or at least neutral. Offset had no interest in playing it safe. The final track on Kiari is nothing short of a bombshell, where he compares his past with Cardi to memories worth flushing down the toilet. It's not a metaphor you stumble upon by accident. It's bold, crude, and brutally final. Fans instantly recognized that this wasn't just a clever line, it was a full-on rejection of the marriage that once defined so much of his public image. And that's where the tension kicks in. Was Offset using his art as therapy, finally getting things off his chest? Or was this a deliberate move to make sure his side of the story stamped itself into the culture before Cardi had her say? What do you think? Is Offset being vulnerable here, or is he just trying to control the narrative? The track is called Move On, and that's exactly what Offset seems determined to do, but it doesn't play out as a simple goodbye. At first, he almost sounds vulnerable, even willing to take the fall for how messy things got. In his own words, he admits that their very public fights made them both look like fools. For a moment, it sounds like he's reflecting with honesty, taking accountability, and giving listeners a glimpse of humility we rarely see from him. But that tone doesn't last long. As the beat carries on, his lyrics sharpen. The sorrow fades and in comes the anger. The song morphs from an apology into a declaration of war. Offset starts peeling back layers of resentment, and you can feel the shift in energy, almost like he tried to stay calm, but the emotions were just too raw to contain. Real quick, have you ever noticed how some of the best diss tracks start soft before exploding? Offset definitely pulled that move here. Do you prefer diss tracks that go straight for the jugular, or ones that build the tension? And then, the gloves come off. Offset stops apologizing and starts accusing. His bars cut deep, painting a picture of Cardi as someone who never listened, never cared, and never showed up in the way he expected. He accuses her of ignoring rules, brushing off responsibilities, and prioritizing a social lifestyle over their marriage. The lyric that really caught people's attention, his jab about her never cooking for him. On the surface, it might sound petty, but beneath it lies something bigger, resentment about what he saw as her lack of commitment to the traditional role of a partner. Whether you agree with that expectation or not, Offset clearly felt it, and he wasn't holding back. What made it sting even more was how casual he sounded delivering these lines. It wasn't just anger, it was detachment, almost like he'd reached the point where he didn't care if it came across messy, because in his mind, the marriage was already over. Be honest. Do you think Offset crossed a line by putting those private details in a track? Or does Cardi deserve it since she's aired their business too? But the lyric that blew the internet wide open was his reference to Stefon Diggs. Out of nowhere, Offset hints that Cardi might have been linked to the NFL star. And just like that, the gossip machine went into overdrive. Now let's be clear, there's no solid evidence of Cardi and Diggs being involved. This could just be a lyrical jab, a way of twisting the knife and making Cardi squirm under the weight of public speculation. But that's exactly the point. Once it's out in the world, people are going to run with it. Within hours of the album dropping, fans were flooding Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok, combing through past interviews, old Instagram posts, and even sideline appearances to see if there was ever a connection between Cardi and the wide receiver. Some swore there were hints, while others brushed it off as pure shade from Offset. Quick poll, do you think Offset actually exposed something real here, or was he just throwing shade for shock value? Type exposed if you think it's true, or shade if you think he made it up. While tearing down the past, Offset wastes no time bragging about his present. He lets fans know he's already moved on, proudly linking himself to model Melanie Jada. The two didn't just quietly connect, they rang in the new year together, and since then they've been spotted arm in arm across events in Atlanta, LA, and Miami. In Offset's words, she's someone who keeps him on the up. Translation: she represents positivity, peace, and maybe even the stability he claims he never had with Cardi. Fans have been quick to dissect their relationship, with some calling her nothing more than a rebound, while others believe she might be the real deal. What's undeniable is the confidence Offset has in showing her off. With Cardi, so much of their relationship was shrouded in drama and secrecy, from surprise weddings to sudden divorce filings. With Melanie, Offset looks like he's in full control, no hiding, no second guessing. It's a clear message. He's done with the past, and he's already celebrating the future. Do you think Melanie Jada is just a rebound, or do you see this turning into something serious for Offset? Let me know below. But here's where the story takes a complicated turn. Despite the harsh lyrics, the public appearances, and the bold statements, Offset and Cardi are still legally married. Their divorce hasn't been finalized, and nobody seems to know why. Divorces in the world of celebrity couples are never simple. Between shared businesses, joint properties, and custody agreements, the process can drag on for months, sometimes even years. But fans can't help wondering if something more is going on behind the scenes. Some speculate that Offset is stalling to protect his finances, while others believe Cardi might be taking her time to make sure the split works in her favor. There's even talk that both sides could be holding out for strategic reasons, whether it's album rollouts, brand deals, or the optics of timing. Whatever the reason, the paperwork delay makes Offset's lyrical goodbye all the more dramatic. On record, he's already moved on, but on paper, he's still tied to the woman he just torched in his music. That contradiction keeps fans on edge, waiting for the next twist. Let's be real. Do you think the divorce is dragging because of money, custody, or something we don't know about yet? Drop your theories. So what do we make of all this? Offset didn't just end an album, he ended a chapter. With Kiari, and especially with Move On, he made sure his voice was the loudest in the room when it came to his split with Cardi B. From the confessions to the accusations, from the Stefon Diggs rumor to flaunting his new relationship with Melanie Jada, Offset delivered a narrative that feels raw, unpolished, and unforgettable. But the truth is, this story is far from over. The divorce papers are still unsigned, the rumors are still swirling, and Cardi herself hasn't fired back in full, at least not yet. Which means what we're watching might not be the end, but just another chapter in one of hip-hop's most chaotic love stories. Final question for you: was Move On Offset's ultimate power move, cementing his side of the breakup forever? Or was it just another messy episode in a relationship that's always thrived on drama? Sound off in the comments. I'm curious which side you're on.